This is a 2004 F150. It's got the 5.4 Triton V8 engine in it. Going down the road the other day, it started to miss. Miss would last about 1 to 3 seconds and take place about every mile and a half down the road. So finally it threw the engine light. Engine light said it had a miss in the number 5 cylinder, which could consist of coil pack, spark plug, or an injector, maybe a burnt valve. So what I started out doing is I went ahead and ran the fuel tank down to 1/3 of a tank, and I put a can of STP fuel injection cleaner in the fuel tank, hoping that if it was the injector, that it may clean it out. However, it didn't change. Since the fuel filter on it has been on the truck. The truck's got 164,000 miles on it. I decided to go ahead and change the fuel filter out as well. Today I'm going to go ahead and remove the coil pack and spark plug and inspect them. And I'm going to run you through that, but only on the number 5 cylinder. If you've never dealt with the spark plugs in this thing, I would certainly do your homework, or suggest doing some homework on it, because they could be a bit of a nightmare, especially if one separates on you. And I'll try to walk you through that and explain a little bit more in detail when I get the plug out. But to start out with, we're going to remove the intake portion, plenum I guess you could call it. There's a 10 millimeter, you'll need a 10 millimeter socket. There's a screw right here. You'll want to remove it. Lift this intake plenum up and it'll pull right out. And then just move it out of the way. Then from here, you'll be able to see the coil pack that we're after, which is the one on the driver's side all the way to the front. I think there's a 7 millimeter socket is what you're going to need to remove it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the way. All right, I pulled the coil pack out. It's laying right here. If you decide to pull that spark plug out, I would suggest getting you an air nozzle and blowing out around that spark plug. Maybe get you an inspection mirror in there with a good flashlight. Make sure that you don't have any residual or contaminants up in there that might drop down inside that cylinder before pulling the plug out. All right, I got the spark plug out. These spark plugs were changed about 6,000 miles ago, so they were easy to pull out. But what happens is this section right here sticks down inside that cylinder, and as you try to screw this thing out, the spark plug separates right here, and this section right here, and typically the portion underneath of it, stick down inside the cylinder. And what you have to do is get a special tool to extract the porcelain that's up inside here, as well as this outer section right here. And if you don't have the tool to do that, I wouldn't even think about changing these spark plugs out or even removing one, because it could lead to some other issues. But this one here, I've wiped it off, put a little bit of graphite back on the threads, and it looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall it. And I think I might even do a compression test real quick just to see what that engine's showing, or that cylinder, before I put it back. All right, see if I can make some sense out of this. I've got both the coils laid here. I bought a brand new one and I've got my old one. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a check between the two and see if there's any differences. But in the current configuration that I've got it set up right now, I'm getting 0.7 ohms using the old one and the new one. So they're consistent there. All right, the configuration I've got here, and you should be able to hook this red one, red connector from the ohm meter, to either one of these connectors up inside here. There's 2 terminals, but you should be able to go to either one and get the exact same results, and I do for both coils. The new coil pack is getting 6.19 on the ohm meter with current configuration. The old coil pack is getting 5.5, which should be good. But here's the thing that you got to take in consideration when testing these coil packs. When they get hot, the epoxies inside of these things could be breaking down, which is causing the wires inside to arc or miss, and we may not necessarily see that as far as our own readings. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace it and then drive it down the road and see what the results are. The coil pack that I installed is a Master Pro. I got it from O'Reilly. It's 40 bucks. You could get all 8 of those different brand for 250 bucks if you think you need it. But I got it all back together, got my intake back on. I like the way that plug installed with that new boot. It was a lot tighter than my old one. Hopefully it'll keep all the dirt out of that spark plug that was in there before I blew it out. I'm gonna go drive it and I'll be right back and I'll let you know how it worked. All right, problem fixed and resolved. I just drove this thing, put about 15 miles on it, no miss. However, it doesn't run, after putting a coil pack in, it's like, man, this thing runs good, but it's not quite that smooth. I think I'm gonna go to rockauto.com and order me 7 more coil packs and replace every one of them. Just to try to get smoother. In the end, what's it gonna do for me? It may help me with fuel mileage, but you're only looking at maybe $150 to $200 to replace them. So with 164,000 miles on this truck, it might save my fuel mileage, but certainly give me a smoother ride. Good luck to you, whatever you decide.